Hello, everybody. My name is Nikki, and I just wanted to start off by saying thank you so much for joining me on my first online teaching adventure. So you're part of the founding group. Okay, so that's exciting. Congratulations. This video is just meant to be a brief tutorial video on a few poses, just so that if you're a beginner to the practice, you have an idea of what some of the more common poses are. And then if you're getting back into the practice, it's going to be a really great refresher for you. So I'm going to go over a sun salutation, what that is and what it consists of. And then we're going to go over warrior one, warrior two, and a high lunge. So you will probably see all of these poses on our class Wednesday. So I just wanted, and for the following classes, so I just wanted to get you guys either up to speed or a refresher with what those look like. So without further ado, we'll get started. I'm going to show you what a sun salutation looks like, just the full version, and then I'll go through a modified version, and then we'll break down each pose, okay? So a sun salutation, you start towards the top of your mat, feet together, and here we go. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, high plank. Inhale. Exhale, low plank. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Okay. So now I'm going to lead you through that same thing, but a couple of modifications. So again, starting at the top of your mat. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Take a little bend in the knees so your hands can drop towards the floor. Drop your head. Inhale, halfway lift. Hands come to the shins. Exhale, bend your knees again. Plant your hands, high plank. Inhale, drop to your knees in your high plank. Exhale, lower all the way down to your belly. Inhale, baby cobra, squeeze the elbows to the sides. Exhale, push up onto your knees to a downward facing dog. Okay, great. So now I'm just going to go through a couple of pointers in each of those poses. I'll go through the original version as well as the modified version, so you guys have both. So when we start off, for the sun salutation, our big toes are touching, heels are slightly apart, belly is drawing in, and you just take a full deep breath. Arms come up. On your exhale, hinge from your waist. Try and keep your spine long as you bow forward. Drop your head so the crown of your head is pointing towards the ground. On your halfway lift, inhale. So you can either keep your fingertips on the ground or bring your hands to your shins. The main thing you want to focus on here is keeping a long spine. So you can see here my shoulders are drawing back, my chin is slightly tucked, and I'm not rounding my spine. I'm really trying to get as much length here as I can, and my belly is activated. I'm really engaging my core muscles. So this is that halfway lift pose. So just so to see it one more time, we came from the forward fold, inhale to a halfway lift. Exhale, we're going to bend our knees, plant our hands, step back to a high plank. Now this high plank, it's basically just your push-up position. So you can notice that my butt is in line with my spine. I want to keep it there. I don't want to drop it low. That can put a lot of pressure on the low back. And if I send it up too high, well, that's more pressure on the shoulders, and we're not really activating our core. So keep yourself in one straight line. So this is our high plank. You're going to inhale. Low plank, exhale. So you can drop to your knees and just keep your elbows close to your body as you lower down all the way to your belly. So that's the modified version of that low plank, and that's a really great way to begin to build up upper body strength. So it doesn't mean that you're weak or that you shouldn't do it. It's just a really great way to maintain awesome form and to build strength. So don't feel like that you shouldn't modify on your knees. Okay. If you're not modifying, however, you'll just start in that high plank. Inhale. Exhale. Keep the knees lifted, everything straight, lowering just so that your elbows are at about 90 degrees. Okay. And just like that. So it requires more upper body strength. And like I said, if you start with the modified version over time with a consistent practice, you'll definitely build up the strength to be able to do that full version of a high plank to a low plank. Okay. So from a modified low plank, we'll start there. We're on our knees. We lower down. We come into baby cobra. So we're keeping our hands right underneath of our shoulders. My elbows are not splaying out. I want to tuck them back, squeeze my shoulder blades together, and I'm really pushing the tops of my feet down to the floor. Okay, slight tuck of my chin. And this is an inhale. So I inhaled to get here. All right. Now, if I want to do an upward facing dog, let's start from the non-modified high plank to a low plank. I'm exhaling. Upward facing dog. I come onto the tops of my feet. I drop my hips low and I reach my heart up, draw my shoulders back, and just a little gaze up towards the sky, okay? So you need to decide what's best in your body. The challenge of it being an online class is I won't get to see you, so you really need to, I would suggest starting with modified versions, and then as you become more comfortable, taking it back to, I guess, the original version of the pose. Okay, so from that upward facing dog, if that's where you were, you inhale here, and you're gonna roll over your toes to a downward facing dog. My feet are about hips width distance apart. My hands are shoulder width distance apart, and my gaze is towards my belly button. Now, if you were in a baby cobra, right before the down dog, you're here, baby cobra, inhale, and then you're gonna pull your belly in, roll back or push back onto your knees as you exhale, tuck your toes under, and push all the way back to a downward facing dog. So you can see here my legs are straight. That's just because I'm a bit stretched out at the moment, but if my hamstrings are tight, I will take a little bend in my knees, and there's no problem with that. All right, and then to finish out the sun salutation, you just look forward on an inhale and walk your feet to your hands. Exhale, drop your head. Inhale, sweep all the way up. Exhale, arms come down. Okay, and then I'm going to take you through warrior 1, warrior 2, and a high lunge. So warrior 1 pose, your front knee, you have a bend in your front knee. You want to try and get about a 90-degree ankle. And then my back foot, oh, you guys can't really see. Let me just turn it down a smidge. Okay. My back foot, you can see, is at about a 45-degree angle turned out. Both my hips are pointing straight forward. My arms are up. My shoulders are relaxed and my belly is in. So warrior 1. Now, to get to warrior 2, the only real thing that's going to change is that this back foot, it's going to pivot so that the back edge of my back foot is in line parallel with the back edge of my mat. All right, I'm going to extend my arms front to back, gaze over the front fingertips, and then coming back to warrior one, I would just pivot the back foot in slightly. Warrior one, now both my hips are pointing straight forward. And coming now into a high lunge, we're going to take that back foot and pivot it so that all 5 toes point towards the front of your mat. So you can see here, now all 10 of my toes are pointing straight forward. My back heel is lifted and there's a little bit of a bend in this back knee. Reach the arms up, draw the belly in. Breathe nice and deep. It's a really great stretch for the front of the hip. You want to squeeze your thighs towards each other. And that's it. So for those 3 poses, the best advice I can give you is to really feel grounded in your feet. Keep your belly drawn in, your shoulders down and away from your ears. So instead of crunching, you want to focus on dropping them down, and breathe. Breathe, nice and deep. See you guys soon.